Hey everybody, it's Melodian with the Rebel Tribe, and today our guest is Kareena Heath, the Tip Queen. Her specialty is providing all kinds of tips to people to help make their business better, and she does it all via video. So today she's going to share with us all of her top video techniques and then how she repurposes that content into static posts of all kinds. It's pretty fascinating. I love it. We all know that my videos are not the best, so I'm eager to learn as much from her as I possibly can. So, Kareena, hi, how are you?
I- I'm great. Thanks for asking me to be here. I'm looking forward to this interview.
I'm so excited to have you on here because, like I just mentioned, my videos are a little lacking. Okay. And that's why I want to learn from you. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people can't wait to hear what you've got to teach us. So, but I do want to start out with something because I was intrigued when I first met you to find out that you were a sign language interpreter. That's pretty cool. I have tried many times to learn sign language and it just doesn't stick, which just frustrates me because languages are one of my gifts and I just can't seem to master sign language. So I would be fascinated to know how you got started in that and was it hard to learn?
So I got started when I was in college, and I passed a sign saying anyone want to learn sign language, show up. And it was a student hour. So I just, for some reason, I just like delved into it and spent a lot of my time going and meeting deaf people and hanging out where they were, making a nuisance of myself. There was a bowling alley down the street from my parents, and I was 19 and they were in their 40s, and I thought they were ancient, of course. But it turned out to be to my benefit later. And then just hanging out with deaf people, and then started interpreting about 18 months after I started learning sign language, which is pretty much unheard of. I think it's because my mother was a dancer and I'm good at picking up languages. So when you put those two together, visual kinesthetic memory and languages, it went very well for me. So I've been doing that. That very first class was February 5th, 1973. And yes, I'm very proud to be 69 years old.
I never thought of that as the reason I can't learn. I have no kinesthetic whatever. I'm as clumsy as they come. I am not graceful in any way. I have none of that. That explains a lot. I always just looked at it as, well, it's another language. Why can't I learn it? But it's not. It's a okay. That makes total sense now. Now I don't feel quite so bad. It's like, okay, it's just not my gift. We're moving on. So if someone else wanted to get involved in that though, and I know this doesn't have anything to do with videos, but like I said, I've always wanted to learn. So anytime I see a way to try again, I do. But if somebody really wanted to get into that, are there classes that people can take or where do they go?
Yeah, I would contact the local community college or the local university and see if anybody could tell them where they could find sign language program, and then contact the person who's teaching the sign language program for the free classes. I could tell you where to go in Houston, Texas, but that's not going to help very much. So that's where I would start. And then in terms of learning sign language, just like any other language, the more you can be around it, the better. And so even if you're just watching two deaf people signing, which is really the best thing because they don't change for you, your brain is recording it all. I mean, all that movement and everything. And then after you've seen it for, a long time, then you learn that sign. It's like your brain goes, oh, I remember that in my file. And it comes to the front of your head. That's how I learned sign language. I didn't really have any formal training because when I started, there wasn't any. So I hung out with deaf people, and that's where I learned.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you for that. Because like I said, there might be some other people who want to know, to learn. And then you jump from that into business, and that's how we actually met. We were both part of another thing, which I left a little bit ago, but my understanding is now no more, or no more in its incarnation at that time. So anyway, we're not going to discuss that. But that's where we met. We were both starting our businesses or growing our businesses. And I watched you really dive into video. And I do them, but not like you do. I mean, every day I see a video from you somewhere, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, or I see a video from you somewhere. And it's so, when I was looking for someone to come and talk to us about videos, I knew I had to get you on board because you've just made such a huge progression with your videos that it's amazing. And I wanted you to share that with everybody. So why did you choose video as your way to communicate?
Well, I just know, that static images are pretty easy for me. I used to do word processing, and then I worked for an agency where I developed a 2-week course for interpreters to become certified, and I had to make PowerPoints. And so, PowerPoint and Canva are pretty much similar in terms of how they work, and I already knew how to do that. And I just felt like, I guess I drank the Kool-Aid when I heard Mark Harbert talk about video being the thing. And so when we were in that not to be mentioned company in August of last year, he gave an hour-long presentation on how to repurpose content. Well, that's too much work. He said, well, you do this 15-minute thing, and then you get 10 clips for a minute each, and then you, like, I'm not doing all that work. It's too much trouble. But I took the format, like the hook and the main content and the call to action, and I said, I think I can do this. So I started making videos about 3 times a week, and I sat there with a little stand next to my iPad, and I read the whole thing. And I figured, at least people are going to get the information. And I decided I needed to do it at least 3 times a week, because that way people would start seeing me. And I was getting quite a few, for me, quite a few views, like 300, 500, even though it was obvious I was reading from a piece of paper next to the iPad. So where I upload them, the reason why you're seeing them everywhere is I upload them pretty much everywhere. I upload them on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook stories, or Facebook reels, Instagram reels, the new threads, which is Meta's Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. And so they say you're supposed to reformat the description and the title. I don't do all that either. But anyway, basically I did that for a while until I took Mark Harbert's course on making video, and he talked about CapCut. So let me stop and see if you have any questions before I keep going.
Oh, I do, but I want you to keep going because it's a little bit of a shift away from what you're talking about. So keep going, because I do have a question. You told me something that I was not aware of. So
Okay, so I decided, instead of, doing what everybody does, like turn this way and turn this way and turn this way and still sit, my wife is like visual to the max. There's no minimalist in her vocabulary. So everywhere in our house, there are walls full of stuff. And so all I do is walk around the house, and I have at least 10 different backgrounds I can use from my videos. So I stand in front of one of those in different order, and I do 1 or 2 sentences, and then I put it together in CapCut by using transitions. So I don't know if I answered your question or not.
no, I haven't. Like I said, I had another question. And I want to talk to you about CapCut too, because I've tried CapCut and it makes me crazy. I use Filmora, which also makes me crazy, but less crazy than CapCut. So yeah, I want to talk to you about CapCut. But first thing I want to ask you is, Pinterest does videos. Okay, for you guys that know how much I love Pinterest, how many times have I told you Pinterest is like a big shopping mall, and every one of your images is a clickable link. So people are like window shopping through the mall, and then they see your stuff and they click it and they're in the store. It's an awesome platform. I did not know they do video because, yeah, I don't do a lot of video. So I was unaware that you could load videos to Pinterest. Tell me about that, please.
Well, you just, if you're on your profile, it has pin and something else. I don't know. So you click the little pin and it comes up, and it goes to your your device and finds whatever is first. And if the video is first, you click on that. Otherwise, you look for it in the little images, and then it uploads the video, and then you do your description and your title and your link just like anything else.
Okay, I really do need to learn more from you about video then, because I do a lot of Pinterest, but I just do it from where I'm at. I do it from like my website or whatever. I'm loading stuff from there, so I don't actually get on my site. So that's probably why I'm not aware that I could have been loading videos.
When you're on your site, do you have a little pin that you click on before you actually upload your image?
Huh? Yeah.
You click on that, and it connects to whatever images you have either on your computer or your phone. You can upload the video to your phone and it'll work.
Awesome. Yeah, because I just normally like click on the image and then share to Pinterest. So, okay, cool. I'm going to go exploring Pinterest more after this. And awesome. Okay, so tell me more about CapCut, because like I said, I use Filmora, which gives me a headache, but less of a headache than CapCut. And I see all these cool CapCut things on TikTok. And yeah, some of them it's like, well, that would be cool, but it's already been 900 times that I've seen it. So I guess I'm not going to do it because it's already been done to death. But I know there's some cool things out there on CapCut that are, seems to me like they're designed specifically to use on TikTok. So I would love to learn a little more about CapCut. So please tell us about.
Basically, I just do mine on my phone and I use a teleprompter. But you can originate the video on Snapchat or TikTok where you have filters and other fancy stuff. I'm not doing all that, but you can. And then it's on your phone, and then you can go from there. So I do CapCut on my computer. You can do it on your phone also. And you have a big screen, and then in the top left there's a thing that has like a square, and you import. So you click on import, it opens up to your files on your computer, and you click on the videos you want to import. I do 6 different sections or shots or scenes, whatever, and I click on all of them at the same time, and I come into where it says import, and then you click on that and it moves down all 6 pieces. So now you have 6 different clips next to each other. And then the next thing I do is I do the auto caption. So you click on text and you go to auto captions. And that gives you the spaces, because you're going to have some pauses when you're doing these clips, and it tells you where you're not talking, and that helps you trim down the video. And then you just move your mouse and it has a little line, and there's 3 lines, kind of looks like a parentheses where they're facing each other, like convex and concave, whatever, like this. You click on that, and then you get a line and then a little spot, then you click on that space, it becomes a box. Then you go to delete and it takes out the extra space. So it sounds a little complicated, but you can find directions with the actual screenshots on YouTube, and it will show you how to do it. So that's just then I do my captions, and I change the color of my captions to match my blouse because I want it to be a little bit different. And when I do my shot, I'm in the bottom half, and I put the captions above my head instead of across my chest because I want to be a little different.
Sounds like it might be a little bit easier than Filmora. I really need to go back and take a second look at it. It was quite a while ago when I looked at it, and then I don't know, it seemed very not user friendly. And then I went to a seminar, and the girl there she's really good with video. One of the classes was videos, and she recommended Filmora, so I got it. And I'll be honest, I probably don't use it as much as I should, considering I pay for it, because it makes me crazy.
You can also put transitions in, and there's lots of options for transitions, but I want all throughout. I just use one transition all the way. And then I have one attention getting one where it pops a color right when you start. So it's like, oh, hi, here I am. And it's kind of like when people walk into the video, they put their glasses on, they turn around, trying to get somebody's attention to get started.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I live on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere with lousy internet connection, and it's as good as it's going to get. I've tried everything, still patiently waiting for Elon to send Starlink over my house, but it hasn't happened yet. In the meantime, every once in a while, I have problems. We lost a little bit of you, Kareena, but I don't think we lost anything like critical, so I think we're okay. I'm not going to ask you to go back and repeat all that, but for those of you who don't know, yes, I have unstable internet. I can't fix it. If you have solutions, I'd love to hear them because it makes me crazy. Please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, deal with it. Okay, moving. I always have to give that little PSA halfway through the videos to let people know, yes, I know I have a problem. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to stop doing these. So learn to live with it. We all have.
Yep.
Okay. So I love Mark to death, Mark Harbert. Yes, I know. And every time I watch him doing one of his classes, I keep thinking that I should really take that and learn to do a little bit more about video, do them a little bit better. And then something always happens. I get a class or two under my belt, and then something happens and I get sidetracked. And yes, I'm one of those. Okay, bright, shiny objects. That's all me. I have the attention span of a gnat.
It makes your life interesting.
Tell that to the people who have to live with me. But I really do want to learn more about it. So I'm glad you're here because you're teaching me so much. So teleprompter, is that like an actual, you have a teleprompter, or is that like an app or something, or
There's an app. I used BigView, BIGVU for a while, and then it just crapped out on me. It stopped working. And the sound just came out like in static. And so I was very frustrated. So then I found another one called Teleprompter. There's all kinds of apps you can use on your phone, and all it does is it just runs the script like a teleprompter in your phone. So you can be looking right at your phone and reading the script. And it's really nice. And you can set the speed, and you can set the size of the font. And what I do is I make 6 separate scripts so that each time I go to a new place in the house, I open up another script, and it makes it a little easier for me.
wait, I did not know those existed either. That's awesome, because I usually write what I'm going to say because I can't remember. Sometimes if it's short, I'll try to memorize it, but if it's going to be longer and I know it's going to be longer, I will write it out. And just like you can tell I'm reading it because your eyes are constantly glancing over to the other screen. So no matter how hard you try not to do that, people know. So I like that teleprompter. Did not know about that. I'm going to be downloading a lot of stuff.
They probably have one for the PC, but I'm making short videos. I just do 1-minute videos, and I'm doing my best now to get them under 1 minute. I was doing 1 minute, 15 seconds. You go on YouTube, and now it becomes a regular video, and it competes with all the longer ones. If you can keep it under 1 minute, it becomes a short, and YouTube will send it out. So it's to your benefit if you're going to put it on YouTube to keep it under 1 minute. And you can do that on CapCut by taking little slivers out. You just make the film, the view of the film wider, and you can get that little space out a little pretty easily.
Sweet. So why short form video, do you think, instead of the longer videos? I know short form video seems to be the thing. Everybody I talk to about video says short form video, short form video. But then I see that like TikTok has now given you the option of having a 10-minute video. So they're going just the opposite. They started out as the rulers of short form video, and now they're going longer, and everybody else is doing like YouTube shorts and Instagram reels and Facebook reels. So Which is it? Long form video, short form video? Which should we be doing?
It really depends on what you like to do. Some people don't want to say a minute's worth of information. I'm feeling like people don't have attention span, or they just want to keep scrolling. And so I haven't done any research, but this is just my opinion, and you know what they are, everyone has one. But I just feel like 1 minute videos are easier to make, they're shorter, and you can stretch out your content over a longer space. So you can get in every single day. I'm doing it every other day right now, but you can get in every other day with a short video. Some people say I do a 15-minute video once a week. If that's what you want to do, cool. But I'd rather be seen more and have quick tips rather than do longer videos. I used to be in real estate wholesaling and mobile home wholesaling, and I had groups where I would do challenges, 5-day challenges, and each challenge had 5 hours, 1 hour a day. I could do longer videos all day long, but I would rather do the short ones.
You were really making me rethink my whole video marketing process. You may see more of me. People may not like you for this. Okay, so CapCut, I need to check that out, and the teleprompter thing. And now something that you do that I absolutely love, because yes, videos are great, but even Facebook will tell you that you need to, they'll encourage you to change up your posts. So how do you make those static images out of your videos? How are you doing that?
Okay, so what I do is I use my script, and so I will have my go-to is about 130 words. That ends up being about a minute. And so I'm good at editing, so I can get it down so it still makes sense. And I take about half of that. So I try and do like an even number of points in my videos. Sometimes I don't, I can figure it out, maybe add an extra one, whatever. So I take half of it and I put it into a story format on Canva. And I will put them one right after another. So day one is part one, and day two is part two. And then I use a different background because on Pinterest, they want different backgrounds and different fonts in order for them to push it through their algorithm. So I just find multicolored something from Pixabay and just capture the backgrounds and put the text over it, make the background transparent to like 50%, put the text in there. And I always have for more info, message me, or more info, check my profile, something that has a call to action at the end. I have a template. So I have the title with a different size font, and the title of the title and the body of the font is the same name. It's just a different size. And then bottom, I have success with Kareena and my picture. That's my template for Canva. And that's how I reuse I repurpose it from a video to a static. If you just speak in your video, you can use auto, or you can even go into YouTube and capture the text, put it into a word processor like Pages or Word, and then or Google Docs, and get your 75 words or so and put them into the static image.
Here comes PSA number 2. I have dogs. I have 5 of them. And FedEx is about to drop off a package, so the dogs are going to go off. Deal with it. I have dogs. We'll just wait a minute though, because it's going to happen. They just pulled up. My office, my window looks right out, and yeah, they just pulled up. So here go the dogs any minute now. Yes. life with me is never boring. Sometimes it can be challenging though when you're trying to do this, but I learned a long time ago, kind of like what you're saying with all of this. I mean, I want to learn to do them a little better, but none of this is going to change because I live where I live. And if you follow me, you know that I talk a lot about I live out here because I can, because I can. I don't have to be tied to being in town or anything else. I live out here because I can, and I deal with the inconveniences of, oh, my dogs are sleeping on the job. They're not barking. Oh, there they go. I was gonna say they're all fired. They're supposed to be watchdogs. But there they go. I was gonna be disappointed there for a minute. I was gonna go yell at them for not doing their job. There they go. I don't know. All right, guys, that's enough. Yeah, I always warn everybody if you're expecting if you're expecting nice, polished, professional type videos with me, it's not happening. It's just not. And I've never had anybody protest that they didn't want to come on and talk to me. So we just, I am not changing my lifestyle to be something I'm not. I'm 66 years old. I'm too set in my ways to be doing anything different now. I like it out here. Sometimes it can be challenging, but you know what? If you don't like my videos, don't watch.
Exactly.
So moving on. So we've got CapCut, we've got this teleprompter thing, which just that solved so many problems for me. I did not know those existed because I hate feeling like I'm reading. That's great. And then you said Pixabay, so you don't use the Canva backgrounds? What is
No,
I know about Pixabay, but I've never used it.
because I'm not even on Canva that often, and I know that it's a Canva background. They're so limited in terms of the number, and I don't want to look like everybody. I don't want my things to look like everybody else's. So I just get a photo, I actually use my iPad, but you can use your phone too, your iPad or your laptop or your tablet, whatever. And Pixabay has 200,000 pictures of flowers.
Okay.
So you can't, and then they have colored ones. And then I'm doing for my multi-level marketing business, I do one a day, and I use like a forest background because I love being in the mountains. So, and every day I do a different background and a different font.
Hang on. Apparently there was 2 packages, so here comes package number 2. I also hate going into town, so I get my Misfits Market and my Chewy delivery both just got dropped off. So, and here in about another hour, my Walmart in about 15 minutes. About 15 minutes, my Walmart delivery will be here, and then I'll be good for the rest of the week. We're all set. So,
Awesome.
Okay, so Pixabay. All right, and that's an app. I think.
No, it's a website.
It's a website.
It's a website.
Okay. Like I said, I've heard of it. I've never used it, but I've heard of it. So, okay. I did not.
You can type in other backgrounds that you like. Sometimes if I just want a green background, I'll go in and type in green and then go to images, and then green squares come up everywhere, and I can use that as a background.
Awesome. Okay. Because you're right, Canva it's a little limited on some of the things they offer. Some of the things, there's a lot of good things about Canva, but some of them there's some limitations. Like everything, there's some limitations.
Right.
Cool. Okay, so are you posting the exact same video? Because like I said, I always see you at least once or twice a day while I'm online. But I tend to hang out on very specific websites most of the time, or platforms. So do you post the same video
Yes.
all the time in every place, or do you change them up at all, or is it just same video everywhere?
Well, I'm still working and I don't want to put in that much work. So I just use the same video and the same description on each platform. With TikTok, I don't have 1,000 followers yet, but I've got 825 and I haven't really been working at it. So when I get 1,000, I can actually put the link in. Right now, I can't put the link in, so I just have it be a hashtag success with Kareena. So I changed that on TikTok. On Pinterest, they say don't use hashtags. So when I do the description, I pull out the hashtags, but I leave the same words that I had behind the hashtag. Other than that, it's basically the same thing on all of them.
Okay. And you don't get pinged for that? Because I know back when Facebook was paying for reels, I was getting paid for my reels, and then all of a sudden one day they came out and said, well, you're no longer eligible for the bonus program because you're posting duplicate content. And I was like, what? No, I'm not. All of my videos are original. And the only thing I could figure is I was posting the same video on Instagram and Facebook, and since Facebook and Instagram, so I guess they didn't like that. Didn't really matter because they stopped doing the Reels bonuses shortly after that anyway. So you're not
Yeah,
getting penalized at all for using the same video everywhere?
well, I wouldn't know because I'm not doing a split test.
Oh, okay.
So if I was to do a split test and say, okay, I'm going to make 7 different videos with the same content or one video, and then that's just too much work.
I love it when you say that, because isn't that why most of us got into this in the first place? Everybody thinks we all got into it for the money. No, we didn't. We all got into it because we don't want to work that hard.
Well, that's exactly what I do. And I'd be willing to share how I get my content too, if you'd like that.
Yes.
Okay, so what I do is I look for things that I think people will need because I do business tips mostly. So, there's the content and their video and that kind of stuff. Recently, I watched somebody's training. It was a 30-minute training, and I got 6 ideas, 6 of them. And so I take one idea and I go to ChatGPT and I say, give me the top 15 whatever on that one idea. Then I have 15 of them, and I go from each one of those 15 and I go, give me the top 15 whatever, right? And so then I go and I pick out maybe 4 to 6. So if you could group them, you could actually take that list of 15 and make it into 3 different posts or 3 different videos. So it's kind of like exponential.
Okay, I'm loving hearing you talk about Chat GPT, because yes, I use it too all the time. For those of you that think AI is going to take over the world, yeah, possible. I don't know, but I'm old enough that I probably won't be around to see it, so I don't care. No, I do care, but for those of you who think it steals people's ideas and everything, AI is stealing people's ideas, and that, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that whole debate. All I know is Walmart's here. Here's my Walmart. Hang on, Walmart's here. And they're off. You got lucky. You got all 3 deliveries in your video.
Yep. Yep. So I'll just give you an example. So one of the ones was about here's the list that I got: content creation and curating content, engagement, email, messenger, groups online and social media, learning and adapting, and then keep learning for 15 minutes a day. So I took the content creation, and I put it in ChatGPT, and it said high quality, valuable content. So I put that in ChatGPT, and I came up with hooks, and then ask a question, use a startling fact, tell a story, create a visual image, evoke emotions. So then you can go back and say, what are some examples of videos you could use asking a question, and whatever your topic is. Like when you were doing, somebody was doing scrapbooking, you could even do that. What are the top 15 things that people ask about scrapbooking? And then you take that one of those and then you ask it, what are some top reasons why people do this? And you just keep going, and you, before you know it, you have more content that you could actually use.
Yeah, I use, like I said, I use Chat GPT all the time, and I never use it word for word. I'm kind of like you. I use it to generate ideas. I don't ever copy and paste. I just, sometimes I need just a general idea of what I'm going to talk about or write about, or a little bit of a nudge, and it's very good for that. So for all of you that are anti-AI, I understand. I understand that you're concerned about this and that and the other thing, and I get that, but you know, it's a tool like everything else. It can be used well, or it can be used, I don't want to say, it can be used with less integrity than it should be. So it's not the tool, it's the people using the tool.
Right. And you use Google for years, and it's
Yeah.
basically the same thing, except for now it's coming out with full sentences instead of just like the title of something. And then you go looking at a blog and then trying to take the blog, which has been perfectionally written, right? The person wrote it with perfection. Now you have to use that to try and get more out of it and take the subheadings, and then, this
Yeah.
is just a lot easier.
Yeah, and don't tell me people never copied the blog word for word and used it as their own, because I know they have, because I've had it happen to my blogs. I've been blogging since 2007, and I have seen my blog out there on somebody else's word for word. So, you know, it is what it is. So we're not even going to go down that road, although we just did. So anyway. So we use Chat GPT for ideas. I love it. So I have to ask, because I know you gave us a lot of what you do and you explained it pretty clearly, but I would love to know if you would be willing to come and do like an actual walkthrough with us one day, where we like watch you create a video and create the static posts with it, and how that all works together.
I'd
'Cause
be glad to do
some
that.
of us are visual learners.
I'd be
So
glad.
sweet.
You'll have to warn me so that when I make my video, I'll have it ready for the CapCut editing.
Yeah, I will get with you after this is over, and we'll set up a time to do an actual walkthrough on how to do that. Yes, I would love that, because I'm very visual, so I know there are others out there that are too. So I would love to actually watch you go through that whole process, because after listening to you, you've intrigued me now. Like I said, I'm gonna go kind of take a real good look at my video marketing, and I think make some changes and maybe get back into it. Mark Harbert, you've done good. You've taught her well.
Well, actually, Mark sits at his desk. He doesn't go around his house. And when he does CapCut, they do jump cut, where you smush the video and you bring it closer and then bring it out. Well, I'm doing something better, I think, by going around the house and making 6 different shots, because that holds people's attention too.
I watch your videos. Like I said, I see them. I see at least one of them every day, no matter what. I see you somewhere, and I always watch them. So yeah, I think you're doing. I think
Oh, and then what I do is I forgot to tell you this. I take the static image and I make a comment. I make like maybe 5 sentences to go with it. And then I post that in other places other than just stories. I keep that on Canva. I'm kind of like a organizational freak. You don't have to do it this way. You can put it all at once. But I wait until I have maybe 30 or 40, and then I go down to the bottom and I take the last one that I just made and I make that into an email. And I already have the image made, and I already have the comments made. So now all I have to do is copy and paste into an email, and then that's ready to go too.
See, so she also is using email marketing. All right, guys, enough. She's using email marketing, which is good. You hear me getting a little carried away now. Stop. I'm gonna go close the door. Hang on.
Okay.
All right, enough. So yes, I preach email marketing to the hilt all the time. So you're using your video for those of that always, I don't know what to say. So you're actually taking your video content and turning it into an email.
Yeah,
That's fabulous.
I make it into 2 static posts with five or 5 sentences or whatever, and that's where I post everywhere other than the stories, because there's not really a place to put it. So then I take that static image and the sentences that are next to it in Canva, I copy and paste into an email. So now I've got video, 2 posts on 7 different platforms. Well, static posts is 5, so 10. That, and I make it into an email.
I'm not going to call you the tip queen anymore. I'm going to call you the queen of content repurposing. Tip queen is out. You are now the content repurposing queen, because I do a lot of similar things with my posts. I use, but never once have I thought of taking my posts and turning it into an email. I've done the opposite. I've taken my emails and chopped them up into smaller portions and used them as posts. But I've never taken my content and turned it into an email. That's just okay. I like that.
And it makes it short and sweet. So I was doing it every day, and then I heard Kim Ward say, the powers that be now in the master class that she went to in London said up to 3 times a week. Okay, well, I'll do it 3 times a week. It doesn't matter to me because I already have them made.
Sweet. This has been fabulous. I'm so glad that we did this, because I actually learned a lot from you. I'm going to go sit back now and go take a look at a lot of what I'm doing and make some changes, because I'm the first one to admit I'm not good at video. I kind of tend to avoid it a little bit, simply because, well, for one reason like this, because if I try to do anything, I love to talk to people. And yes, far too often when I try to do that, I get the unstable internet, or the dogs going off. The other day they went off because a fox ran down the road. So I don't do them. I do maybe one a week or so, but I like them. I'm chatty by nature, in case you haven't noticed. I'm just naturally chatty, so I like doing them, and you've made me. I'm gonna go take a look and see. There might be some changes coming.
So,
Seeing more video from me.
so if you're able to figure out either CapCut or Filmora, I think is what you called it, you can do those little clips, and they're about, if you're doing 6 and math, there's only 10 seconds each. So you can run it, look at it, and see if it's any good. If it's not, then do it again, because the unstable internet kind of weaves in and out. So you might get that just perfect one when it's on its on the upswing.
Elon, if you're listening, I need Starlink bad. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm hoping that you will drop the links send me the links to everything you mentioned, so that I can put them in the description of your video so people can go find it easily. CapCut, your teleprompter, your Pixabay, everything you talked about, if you would please, so people know where to go to find these things, and also links to your stuff in case they want to hook up with you and learn more about how to do video. And you heard it here. She is going to graciously do an actual walkthrough with us on how she does all this. So keep posted, and I will let you know when that's going to happen. Kareena, it's been awesome. I have been I've learned so much. It's fabulous. I really appreciate you getting on here and doing this with us.
Thank you for having me. And I'm a teacher by training, so I don't mind. I'm not a whiz kid when it comes to sharing my screen, but I'm already visualizing how I can get it prepared, like in kind of like a PowerPoint or slides or whatever, so that you can see it and not have to look over my shoulder like somebody else we took training with. Well, come watch me work. No, thank you. So I will see what I can do in terms of putting it together and showing you how I take the bits and maybe just make a slideshow out of it.
Thanks again. This is great. And this is the Rebel Tribe. We are here. We are by women, for women. Our whole purpose is to help women find their voices and bring their passion out into the world. So if you like what we're doing and you don't mind the funky video and the dogs, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff that you do. And we will see you next time around.
Bye bye. Thank you, Melania.
Bye.